Were you born on or after the 4th of February in any of the following years? 1994, 1985, 1976, 1967, 1958, 1949, or 1940? If you were born in any of those years, then this energy prediction for 2020 is for you. Now, this is an energy prediction based on the principles and the ancient wisdom of Chinese medicine, and we're looking at the patterns of nature and particularly the energies of the 5 elements of nature. And in Chinese medicine, we all go through cycles of time, and particularly we go through a 9-year cycle. The first year of a 9-year cycle is the beginning of a whole new era, where we're meant to dream big about what we want for the following 9 years. And the 9th year is the completion of that cycle, the ending, and ready to start the new cycle. So in this cycle of 9 years, you currently are in the 4th year. Now, this 4th year is actually the 2nd year of a 2-year cycle of growth and change. And what this means for you, firstly, I'd like to look at your pattern of who you are in nature, because this will help you understand why you're being influenced the way you are. So when I look at the energy that I see in your patterns based on the year you were born, you are a person who I can see is a natural born leader. In Chinese medicine, they would give you the archetype of the father or the king, meaning that you have the ability to be a visionary and see the whole picture. And you're a person who can lead and understand what needs to be done and be able to delegate to people and get things done. And there's a great sense of responsibility that you will find that you experience throughout your life. And you're also a person who is highly sensitive and very aware of all the details as well. So in this 4th year of your 9-year cycle, this is the 2nd year of this 2-year cycle of change and growth. But last year you would have noticed, if we look at the energy of last year, it would have been a year where you found that it was time, that it was just change. Change found you whether you were looking for it or not. Or it might have been a year where you decided to put a whole new business idea out into the world and started to grow it. There would have been changes that may have happened that you may not have put into place, but were natural for your growth. Well, this is the 2nd year of this 2-year cycle of growth, and you may find that it has a different flavour to last year, and you may have already started to feel this already around November, December of last year. Everything may have started to feel like it's up in the air. You might have found that last year you put plans into place and, created an action plan. And this year it feels like, well, what's happening? I've put plans into place and things just don't seem to be going according to that plan. It's like you just don't know what's going to happen next. And in a way, it can create a sense of uncertainty in you. You will thought you were headed in a certain direction, and then something comes just out of left field and just, changes the whole plan. So for you, it can feel this year that things are just not as settled as you would like them to be. You may feel a little bit ungrounded. And when we look at the particular element of this year that relates for you, it's the element of wood. And wood energy is all about creating action, growth, transformation, wanting to develop and grow towards a particular direction. And so in nature, we would look maybe at an oak tree, the solidness of an oak tree going in a particular direction. This year, the same pattern of wood is flowing through your year, but it's more the actual image of the bamboo tree. So a bamboo tree doesn't have just the one trunk. When it comes out of the ground, it has a number of branches that stem out of the ground. So what this means is the bamboo tree is more flexible and it's more impacted by the wind, whereas a solid tree doesn't move too much when there's a lot of wind. So this relates to the need to be a bit more adaptable and flexible in this particular year for you. It may be that you may need to look at different possibilities and different options this year. And it may mean you need to make different decisions based on more options. Instead of having one plan A, you may need to have a plan B or a C or even a plan D handy and at the ready. It could be that you find that you get it more frustrated this year. There's always an emotion that relates to any particular element, and frustration can be the particular emotion that comes up for you because you're headed in a direction and all of a sudden things have come into play that have created some change there. You might find that you start to overthink a lot this year or overanalyze, and this is actually more natural to your nature anyway. You are a deep thinker, you do look at all the details, and this year you may find yourself even overthinking even more, which will then end up having you procrastinating and stopping you in your tracks. Whatever you have started last year, don't allow the energy to push you straight off course. Stay focused on your plan, keep heading in that direction as much as you can, but just allow a bit more flexibility and allow yourself to look at more options to that can support you to move forward. So don't change courses midstream if possible. And certainly don't make any radical changes that are entirely different to what you started last year. Having really grounded advisors in your life will be really important for you this year, and you may find that a mentor or somebody who is further ahead in whatever you're planning for yourself may come into your life this year. So look out for them. You may find that you go to a networking meeting, or you go to some kind of gathering and somebody will just naturally come up to you and speak to you, or you may start a conversation and find that they're in a similar field that you're looking at and can be of a real help to you and mentor you in some way. So that's just natural, that will turn up for you this year. But also know it is important for you to talk to trusted friends or family members or a consultant or even a therapist this year to just really support you with continuing on your course of action that you've been planning. So a mentor may come up for you this year, and they will just naturally come up for you. They just turn up. It's like you just stumble over them and they're just there. So that's really fabulous to look forward to. It is important to actually go to more meetings and more gatherings where you can gather more information that will support you with wherever you're planning to go. It could be that whoever you meet this year can open doors for you as well. So be open for that. Now, it's also common for you this year that when you have trouble making a decision, as I said, things can take you a little bit off course, but it's really important to stay focused on giving yourself a time limit and saying, okay, by this date, I'm going to make a decision, and just trust that it will be the right decision. In regard to relationships this year, we find in Chinese medicine that it's this year where people may have look at their relationships and find that they have decided to end a relationship. This can naturally happen in this particular year, and then next year may be where it becomes more official. That's not to say it will happen for you this year, but this is what we find that can happen during this particular fourth year of a 9-year cycle. Now, this is also a good year, and last year also would have been a good year to studying something new, or studying new concepts, or studying anything in regard to where you're wanting to head forward with your life, or whatever business plan or whatever idea that you have, just to develop more skills, more understanding, and to feel more self-assured that you know what you're doing and what you're talking about. Now, as I said, be aware that procrastination can come up for you, and don't override that impulse to go, I don't know yet, I don't know enough yet. Just know that the resources will come to you, or a mentor will come into your life, or something will come along to support you in getting some more understanding of where you're heading. Now, this year also is related to the wind aspect, but also things can feel like they're up in the air. And this can literally impact your own balance, meaning that it's not unusual for people to actually trip up or trip over this year. So all of a sudden you're walking along and all of a sudden you're up and over and fallen on the ground. So be careful of that. Watch out that you do watch your step. Maybe it's a good year not to, if you're a female, not to wear spiky heels. Maybe wear flat shoes just for that safety purpose. So watch your feet, watch where you're stepping, and just be aware to that this year is just a little bit different to last year, and things may go a little bit off course, but have your plan B, plan C, plan D there ready just in case. That will help you still end up going in the same direction. So the colour associated with this year is the same as last year with the element of wood, and that's the colour green, and any shade of green is applicable. So you may choose to wear more colours of green in your wardrobe, for instance, or touches of green. I'm wearing a particular scarf that has green in it. Or you may just wear a touch of green, or a green tie, or a green scarf, or a green dress, or anything that's got green in it will really help support you this year. But you may also choose to put touches of green in your environment. You might choose to have a cushion on the chair that's got some green in it. Or you may choose to go out into nature and just embrace and notice the colour of green. And the bamboo tree, as I said, is associated with this year, and you may even choose to go and buy a bamboo tree. But just know that the colour of green will really support you. Now, this is just a touch of what I would normally give in a 90-minute reading, and I provide divine blueprint readings based on Chinese medicine and reading the features of your face and also your birth date, reading the patterns that relate to who you really are on the inside. So when we read this blueprint to who you are, we can look at what emotions you're most likely to be triggered by because of your patterns. We can also see what your true gifts and talents are, that if you were to tap into, you can really step forward and step into your true purpose and your what you're really here to be and do in this lifetime. And also what core challenges that you will most likely experience as you travel through the journey of your life. So these are just some of the things that we touch on. We go into great depth in a reading. So if I can support you with that, by all means, please click on the link below this video, and I would love to chat to you about that. And in the meantime, enjoy the energy of this year and know it is a continuation of growth for you. And I look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Bye for now.